finally had the chance to visit New Zealand in December of 2024, and with my recent interest in all things whiskey, I just had to try some of the local whiskies they had there. On a hop-on, hop-off bus tour around the Marlborough region, I stopped at Cheese and Cheers and tried a flight of their whiskies that were only available in New Zealand. Normally, I only cover whiskies that are available in the local market in Australia as well as international markets like Europe and the United States if I can, but I had to make an exception for this one. Today, we're going to tackle the Waitui 8-year-old single malt whiskey. It is truly something else. This is Whiskey. I'm John Chidgey. Always remember to drink responsibly, in moderation, and where and when appropriate. Feel free to like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and visit engineer.network/whiskey without the E to learn how you can support the show. Thank you. You can get a bottle of this from the Kiwi Spirit Distillery website for 205 New Zealand dollars. That's about 185 Australian dollars plus shipping to wherever you are in the world, and with import taxes and excises and whatever else. This is a small batch whiskey, and unfortunately this specific batch is all sold out on their website, but I was lucky enough to grab one from the Cheese and Cheers in Blenheim. It's not currently available in Australia, unfortunately, and I specifically picked it as one of the whiskies to try in New Zealand precisely because it was unique to New Zealand and not available anywhere else. This particular bottle is number 432 from barrel number 15, and it was bottled on the 5th of December in 2023, distilled on the 3rd of May 2015. It has a 40% ABV, an 8-year age statement, and it doesn't explicitly state if it's chill filtered or coloured, but with a 40% ABV it's possibly chill filtered, and it's unlikely to be coloured, but I can't really be sure of that. I'm also not curious enough to put something cold on it. Sorry, not this time. A previous batch of this whiskey won a silver in the London Spirits competition in 2022. The Kiwi Spirit Distillery is run by its founder, Terry Knight, who started on his spirit distilling journey when working in the South Pacific Distillery in Nelson, and taking over running a distillery when its owner became ill. Mr. Knight set out on his own, starting to make schnapps, then pivoting into tequila, and then finally in 2002 to make whiskey in their current location in Motchapipi, in Golden Bay, on the South Island of New Zealand. One of the many things New Zealand is renowned for is its honey, specifically Manuka honey, which is produced by European bees from the nectar of the Manuka tree, which is native to New Zealand and some coastal parts of Australia. Many hundreds of years ago, long before sherry and bourbon were being made or shipped around the world, one of the most popular alcoholic beverages was mead, which is fermented honey. Back in those days, the aging of what would become known as whiskey was done in those ex-honey mead barrels. However, in recent centuries, mead has fallen out of favour globally as it's quite expensive to make, and many people just prefer beer and wine instead. Either way, the Kiwi Spirit Distillery chose to make their own honey mead using virgin European oak barrels and locally sourced Manuka honey, which is then aged for a year. Their extra dry honey mead is sold at their cellar door, but not on their website as far as I can see, but the process also prepares their barrels for whiskey production, taking that time to leach out any of the stronger oak tannins and impart some of the honey flavour into the barrel's wood. They also note their selection of European oak comes from Bulgaria, with Mr. Knight stating that it gives a cleaner and deeper oak taste than the other oaks from France or America. Cool. From that point, they use barley grown in the nearby Canterbury region, and they use spring water from their on-site natural spring, which they claim has 81 metres of clear visibility. Wow, okay, that's relatively low turbidity. And then they double distill in their 300-litre copper pot still and age it for 8 years in their own ex-honey mead barrels. And like many of the smaller craft distilleries, they're pushing very hard on their local terroir as a big component of what makes their whiskey unique. And honestly, probably fair enough in this case, I suppose. I mean, it is after all. And frankly, New Zealand, that's a beautiful part of the world. Now, their tasting notes say the following. Pale amber colour with caramelised pineapple and chocolate on the nose. Notes of malt, pineapple, barley, apricot, brioche, vanilla and caramel on the palate with a long and smooth finish. Yep, sounds pretty damn good. Let's see what we get here. So for the colour, I'd say that's sort of an amber colour. Not super dark, not super light. And for the legs, I'm searching for legs. There's a couple running. Oh, there we go. Smaller ones running around from the top. One or two have broken away, going quite quickly. The rest of them are going relatively slowly. Wow. You get a strong whiff of molasses and sweet sugar. Sugar cane sweetness. Honey, 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 honey. Funny, that was aged in honey ex-mead barrels. There's a shocker. I mean, I'm stunned. Nice little bit of oakiness on it too. Oh, let's have a go at this. Oh, I love that. Oh, the honey, the sweet honey on it. It's probably one of the sweeter whiskeys that I've ever had. It's like a butterscotch honey toffee. It's so rich. And the mouth feels a bit buttery. I'd say it's actually quite buttery. It's it doesn't hang around too long. You can't chew on it for long, but you can chew on it for a little bit. And that finish, man, that honey, that Manuka honey is just that's beautiful, hey. That is truly beautiful. Getting some nice floral notes on that too, you know. Bit more toffee on the nose on the second nosing, you know. And that finish is still going. It's quite a decent length. It's not super long, but it's definitely longer than moderate. Slightly on the longer side of moderate. Oh man, I can see why. I haven't actually had a glass of this in a few months. I've been going easy on it because I can't easily replace it if I drink it. So I'm kind of pacing myself. And honestly, this is just as bloody good as I remember. Yikes, that is good. All right, one more. The overwhelming, like the honey notes, it's the difference between like a Manuka honey and, you know, other different honey varieties is that it does have a very specific note to it, and it is like, I can tell it's Manuka, but it's faint, but it is definitely strong on the honey. It is very sweet, toffee sweet butterscotch. It is possibly one of the sweeter scotches that I've ever tried, and it does not disappoint. This is such a lovely whiskey. All right, I gotta stop gushing over this puppy and get onto the rating. So for cost, it is 3, stretching the budget a bit, and certainly if you've got to go to New Zealand to get it, not exactly easy to get. But if you can get it, oh my god, the 3, it is still a 3 for cost. Even in local, my Australian dollar currency conversion, it's still not cheap. But you know what? I can see why they charge it. And I don't have to think hard at all. This is a 4. This drink, it makes me smile, it makes me giggle. I love this drink. And I guess that makes it a yellow overall. And a few bottles in this category for something different. And the only reason I'm pacing myself with it, and it's almost a little bit of rediscovery, because I know I can't get it again easily. I'm going super slow and super easy on it, you know? Because it would be crazy to rip through it and then be sad because I couldn't get any more. So ultimately, I'm going to make it last. A few bottles in this category for something different, and my god, this is different, and it is so damn good. Waitui 8. Oh, I love it. Cheers. See you next time. So nice. Just beautiful.